Hello, everybody in the Dancing Jaguar community. Welcome. Happy New Year. I hope you're having a wonderful start to your 2023. And I'm so excited to be here with you today. I have with us today Beata Harasim, who is a holistic and integrative doctor of physical therapy. And I have found her to have a wealth of knowledge and information that is very helpful as I am looking to go into 2023 with healthy habits and lifestyle. And I'm really looking forward to having her here. And she is here to answer any of your questions. So if you are here on the live call with us, then please say hello in the comment section below and post your questions, and I'll be sure to ask her all about them. So, would you please tell us a little bit about yourself and how you ended up doing what you are so passionate about in your life?
So much, Ava. It's really an honor to be here with you. And yes, I'm a holistic and integrative doctor of physical therapy. And it's an interesting kind of story. I think we all have our journeys. But mine started over 10 years ago. I became a physical therapist and I was very passionate about orthopedics and manual therapy, which is a form of body work, as some of you may know that. And that was where my passion really lied. And I've always been interested in nutrition. I have a nutrition degree. And I thought I was eating healthy. I thought I was exercising well. I thought I was doing all the right things. And then I had my daughter. She was born and she had many medical food allergies to my breast milk. And that brought to light many of my own health challenges as we were working through helping her. And at the same time, I started really finding practitioners that really resonated with what my beliefs were, which were a more holistic approach. And the thing is, when I first became a physical therapist, I wasn't quite aware of that yet. And so the work that I've done with my mentors and just independent studies since then has been largely in gut health, functional nutrition or holistic nutrition, energy work, emotional clearing, and spiritual work as well. So it's been a journey to get to where I am today. And I think we're endlessly on this journey where we're always looking to grow and learn more and incorporate more.
Absolutely. Yes, that is so true. And I want to say hi to Sally. Thank you for watching, Sally. And if you have any questions, please put them in the comments section below. And I will be sure to ask your question for you. So Beata, can you tell us a little bit about what is an integrated doctor of physical therapy? I don't understand what that word is and what it means in your title.
Yeah. Thank you for asking. That's a great question because, quite honestly, I may be the only one, if one of very few right now. So I am almost creating my own branch of physical therapy in the sense that I practice similar to a functional medicine practitioner or a naturopath. However, I hold the title of doctor of physical therapy. Now, what that means is that I have the traditional healthcare background and training from my doctor of physical therapy training, my nutrition background as well. And I bring in these alternative practices like energy work, like a very detailed and comprehensive gut health protocol, and also spiritual aspects, meditation, mindfulness. So I truly believe that in order to achieve radiant health, reclaim your vitality, to activate this energy and this life force within you, we need to take a multimodal approach. And that's why I've really transitioned into this integrative model, because this way we can, when we practice in a traditional physical therapy setting, and I've done this in the past where we treat the physical body and someone isn't getting better. And I know I've completed a fellowship in orthopedic manual physical therapy, so I know my physical skills are top notch. And there was this group of patients that just would not get better. Now, looking back, I could see there were so many emotional possible root causes that we weren't addressing in that traditional physical therapy setting. There were nutritional and gut health root causes that we weren't able to address just because of the confines of that box of the traditional physical therapy setting. So now, having all this knowledge, it's almost like, how can I go back to just looking at the physical when from our personal experience and the dozens of other moms and babies and little ones, and now I work with everyone that I've been able to help on their journey, how can I go back to that box when now there's this expansive view that we need to really look at all of these factors when we're looking at health and healing and wellness?
Right. That's so true, isn't it? Hi, Courtney. Thank you for tuning in today. Courtney, if you have any questions, I encourage you to put them in the comment section and I'll be happy to ask them on your behalf. So you brought up a really good point that so much of Western medicine is focused on our physical health and treating our symptoms and not looking at the root causes of what is creating the symptom in the first place. So I love the idea that as a physical therapist and someone who was working in that realm with the physical body, how you started seeing that it's so much more than that, and that everything is interconnected in our beingness. And that first came to light for me when I read Louise Hay's book, your Heal Your Body, back in like the 1980s, when I started looking at the emotional reasons behind some of the physical ailments, and they held very true for me. And I was able to really focus on some of my own physical issues, just by expanding my awareness of the fact that it might not just be a physical issue I'm dealing with. I may need to do some emotional healing to be able to relieve those symptoms in my body. So I love that that's a part of the work that you do with your clients. Do you call them clients or patients?
Both, depending
Okay.
on the manner that we work. So absolutely.
Okay. Okay. So, okay, you mentioned functional nutrition. I heard somebody else just in conversation say that she was a functional nutritionist. I'm having you define words for me because they're
That's
unfamiliar to me,
okay.
like the integrated part of your title. And now, what is functional nutritionist? What does that mean?
Right. So when we look at nutrition in the sense where I learned it back in college, right, that was really it was a great foundation and it was a great experience going through. And that was a very simplistic view of nutrition in my opinion. Well, we looked at macronutrients, calories, vitamins, minerals, which are all important. And then there's the other level, which is the more functional part, in my opinion, where we're looking at how does your body actually absorb these vitamins or minerals or nutrients? Is it in a state to absorb them? Is it able to utilize them properly? How are your detoxification pathways? So that's where the functional approach comes in. We're still looking at nutrition, but we're looking at how is your body able to use that? Is it able to actually get what it needs out of it and maintain the processes that your body regularly goes through on a daily?
I see. Okay, so now the part about gut health is clicking in and connecting for me, because without a healthy gut, your body can't absorb the nutrients that you are attempting to give it through the food that you're eating. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about gut health and how that is really rising to the surface right now as something for people to really start paying attention to. Hi, Kathy. Thank you for tuning in here today. And if you have any questions, why don't you drop them in the comment section below and I will be happy to ask them for you. Yeah.
And I'm happy to answer any questions that any of you may have coming up, because this area of health, I believe, is kind of on the verge where there are some people talking about it, but there's curiosity, and I'm happy to again answer any questions that anyone may have. And so gut health, honestly, in my opinion, when I started doing gut health work, that was when all of the pieces fell into the puzzle. And so I have this great graphic that I want to create, but I'm not a very good graphic art person. So, but honestly, if you think of like a spider web, right? And there's all these little points around it. So we have the emotional points, the physical points, maybe it's your, fitness and exercise levels, your sleep, your environment, your lifestyle, the people that you have around you. That's all the components, your emotional, your spiritual aspects. Those are all the components that nutrition as well, that is what I'm looking for, that create your level of health and wellness. And for me, the center of that web is really gut health. Because when we look at gut health, just like you said, we can be doing all the right things for nutrition. We can be eating all the right things. But if our body cannot absorb it because our gut wall may be unhealthy, we may have a leaky gut, we may have a gut microbiome that's in dysbiosis or in imbalance, we can't absorb those nutrients and minerals. We can't use that nutrition. Same thing goes for our mental health. If our gut brain axis is a term that's widely used. So our gut health actually affects our mental clarity, our mental state. So we can be doing, let's say, a lot of emotional work or therapy for anxiety or depression. However, if our gut health is not in alignment, then our mental clarity is still going to be affected by that. And our mental, our levels of anxiety or fight or flight are going to be impacted by that as well. And so for myself, when we look at gut health, that's kind of the center. If we can improve gut health, then it has a ripple effect out into all of those other pieces of the web. And again, it's all interconnected, so we can't just focus on gut health. And one thing that I also want to mention is that gut health is way more than just a probiotic or a supplement. And that's something that, if you just Google gut health quickly, that's what you're going to see. You're going to see a whole bunch of, advertisements or people saying that this probiotic is the best thing under the sun and that this supplement is the best thing under the sun. And quite honestly, I believe in a lot more individualization and customization than that. And the fact that when we're looking at gut health, which is the gut wall, the gut microbiome, and all of these other holistic components, there's not a silver bullet. There's no one pill that you can take that's going to just make everything better. So when we look at gut health, we need to be looking at not only probiotics, not only supplements. And personally, I actually don't like to use a whole lot of supplements when I work with patients and clients. And so in that sense that we're looking at how can we support your body so that it can heal itself, and we can use our own innate healing abilities and support our body through detoxification, through building a healthy microbiome without relying on these silver bullets that are so widely talked about. So it's much more comprehensive than just like a probiotic or one supplement, which is oftentimes what people are like, oh yeah, I'm working on gut health, I'm taking a probiotic. And that's a great first step. And oftentimes to really get a transformation, we need a more comprehensive approach.
You bring up a good point, because I just had a conversation with somebody over the weekend who said, yep, I'm detoxifying. I'm doing celery juice. I'm juicing, and that's my breakfast every day. So there seems to be not necessarily a belief, but looking for that silver bullet, like that one simple thing we can do that's going to turn everything around for us and help us create a healthy gut or digestive system or something. Yeah. So, well, I'm just fascinated by all of this. And I'm just curious, because if I were to go to a medical doctor, I would be getting lab work done, and I would be, well, I guess that would be the first thing, just in terms of like all this blood work and testing, and like, how do you work with clients? I'm just really fascinated by this. I'm curious.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, especially for an initial consultation and to get started, it's helpful to have blood work and not necessary, because based on history, I have patients and clients do a food diary as well. We can get a really good view based on signs and symptoms that you're experiencing, your healthy habits. And based on that, we can create a plan to make improvements in your health right away. And at the same time, the challenge is that, I'll be honest, as a doctor of physical therapy, I'm actually not allowed to order labs. Now, what that allows me to do is it allows me to work in conjunction with other practitioners. So I have a network of practitioners that can order labs for my patients and clients as well. And that way it actually creates two sets of eyes looking at your results, and we work together closely to create the plan as well. And at the same time, you can actually order your own labs. There are labs that you can go through, and I have a list of recommended labs that I give patients, again, based on that evaluation and assessment that we go through. So we can start pinpointing and targeting what will actually be beneficial for you. And then at the same time, if you have old labs, so something that you've done, a year ago or anything like that, I can review those as well and create plans based on that, because that gives us a glimpse into where you were. And again, based on history, we can see where you are at this point. The other thing that I do is something called kinesiology or muscle testing. So again, this is the integrative approach. So kinesiology and muscle testing is a way to use your energy and your subconscious to help give us answers as far as your health, your status, and some of these answers. Now, myself, I find it to be pretty consistent and pretty accurate. And if you do have lab work, I like to combine, again, integrate. So this way we can combine and kind of marry that traditional healthcare with the alternative healthcare. So it's just other ways that we can access information about your body without going the traditional route.
That's great. So in my community, there are a lot of people with younger children. Can you talk about your approach to families, and is it the whole family that you work with, or do you just take the individual children, and how young do you take children? Let's talk about families and how you work with them.
Yeah, that's a great question, Eva. And that's really how I started. Because my daughter, she had, not to give too many gruesome details, but just a few weeks old, she started having like pooping straight blood, reflux, eczema. I mean, she was not doing well. And this was just when she was having breast milk. So this is actually my subspecialty, and what I've been start off my, practice with was really helping other moms that were in this. So I've worked with the youngest of the youngest, and at the same time, the same framework and the same approach works for toddlers, older children, and adults, essentially. It's actually much more complicated when there is a breastfeeding dyad, because you have to put two into one and kind of create two into one. So that's my subspecialty, you can call that, but I don't only just work with that group at this point. And it's really interesting that you mentioned that, working with the whole family, because again, when we look at this integrative approach, I really believe that the people we surround ourselves with, the energies and interactions and dynamics in the family, that plays a part in our health as well. So I have parenting workshops because I felt that was such an important component to include in my work, that we need to look at how we're parenting and how we're raising our children, and at the same time, how they're having these beautiful miracles of our children in our lives is affecting us. Because I'm not sure if you've had this experience, but this was one of my big awakenings, was having my daughter, who is fiery and feisty and persistent and does not give up, and having to put aside my old conditioning and my old way of being raised, and really embrace her and absolutely love her for who she is, and accept her 100% for who she is. And almost, I use the terminology like not put her fire out, to recognize that she is this way for a reason, and to absolutely love it, accept it, and almost help her develop that instead of trying to tame her down. So it's all those interactions that are so crucial and important in our again, our health, our vitality, our daily life and experience. Because if I was trying to tame her, or to, again, like dampen her fire, there would be this resistance between us all the time. And that's not good for my energy. That's not good for my health. It's not good for her health or her energy at the same time. So it's finding ways to work through and acknowledge, well, why am I being so triggered by this? Or what is creating this emotional response in myself based on what's happening, etc. And again, it's that deeper work where we really start kind of, I call it peeling the layers of the onion, and just going deeper and deeper and seeing into what really makes us us, and what's underlying, deep in our soul.
So is that stuff that you can support the parents with as well? Those parents who are getting triggered by their children, exactly as you just described with your daughter, do you help them kind of do their own inner work, or guide them to the fact that you don't need to fix your child? You need to just focus inward and understand what that trigger is all about, and how you can heal that within you and create the space for your child to be who they are. Yeah, So is that work that you actually do with the parents as well?
Yes, yes, absolutely. And so again, that's where I started with the moms that I was working with primarily. And then what I've recognized is that even, some of the clients that I have that aren't parents, or, we have parents, everyone has some sort of parent or guardian growing up. And that effect has, lasting effects on us as well. So even if we're not parenting in the moment, I absolutely have resources already made for parents. At the same time, we can use that same work to reflect on the parenting that we received and how that's shaped and guided us as well. And again, that deeper work is again part of that really integrative and holistic approach that I use, that I think is really, really crucial when we're starting to look at, again, this whole picture of who we are and our health as well.
Hmm. So I don't think we mentioned where you are located, if there are any viewers who are in your vicinity.
Yes, yeah, I'm curious. I'm in West Hartford, Connecticut right now. And I have offices that I practice out of in Wallingford, Connecticut, and New Britain, Connecticut, and West Hartford, Connecticut. And my practice has been so far mainly online and virtual. So it has allowed for flexibility, and it's been really cool to have clients and patients from all over the world. And I'm, especially this year, focusing on creating an in-person presence as well, because that will allow me to do more of the hands-on body work that I love and am passionate about as well, but also tie all the pieces together.
Right, right. That is that physical connection piece has really been missing for the past couple of years. So it's
Right.
really nice that you're looking at being able to open up to that again, because that is such a big component and such a big piece of the work that you do is bringing all of those pieces together and really nurturing your clients and families. Yeah. So, if you had something that you would like to leave our readers or listeners with today, what would it be? I think you are giving them a free gift for listening in today.
Yes, there is a
Yes.
freebie. So this is a gut health series, and essentially it's called the missing components of gut health. Because again, when we look at that web that I not so eloquently explained earlier, but when we look at that web of all the missing components and all the key things that we need to be looking at, health and wellness. Again, in my opinion, gut health is that central component that can really have a large effect on everything else. And for those who are only focusing on gut health, it's bringing that awareness to the other components as well. So in this gut health series, I guide you through exercises, give you strategies that you can use in that moment, and things that you can start incorporating right away to, again, focus on gut health and improve gut health, but also affect all the other parts of that web to activate your radiant health and reclaim that vitality.
Oh, that is wonderful. That's a beautiful free gift to be giving to people. So, for those of you who are listening, that will show up in the comment section once the video has processed and is sitting in the post on Facebook. We'll add the free gift and your contact information, correct? We'll be putting that in one of the comment sections below the video as well. Is there anything else you'd like to leave our listeners with?
The overall message I always love to give is just that when you feel your own body, that there's something off, or in your relationships, whether it is with your child or partners or friends or family, to really take a moment to just listen to your body, kind of see what can it be communicating, even if it may be uncomfortable in the moment, and empowering you to take that information and seek what it is that your soul is really communicating to you. And sometimes it may be a little scary or may feel uncomfortable, and usually that's where the answer lies.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that. It's been such a pleasure having you here today. You have so much important information to share with people, and I'm really glad that you took some time to come share it with the Dancing Jaguar community today.
Thank you so much, Ava. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.